Thank you.
How damaging is this latest revelation that the State Department won't even release the emails because they're too top secret?
We don't really know how damaging it is or not, because we don't know whether there is an investigation, how deep it is. The truth of the matter is this is not a primary issue. She has an over 80% favorable in Iowa. Bernie Sanders took it off the table. This may or may not be a general election issue. It has played out in some of the general election numbers, but it is not a primary issue, and I don't think you're going to see it have any effect in Iowa.
Yeah. Here's David Webb. Go ahead, David.
You know, Mark, I've just got to get past the election. Let's put the election aside for a moment. Talk about the security. If, as other intelligence officials and high administration officials have talked about in former, that we have been penetrated at high levels, the likelihood of penetrating Hillary Clinton's servers, we will never see the emails, nor should we. But if those 22 emails can't be released, what about the security of the country?
Well, I think this is really a political issue, and the voters are going to make a decision.
I'm talking about process and security, not political. Forget the election for a moment that it exists. Let's talk about the security, penetration, and the penetration of the servers that's potentially there, as well as security.
Well, that's what this issue is about, right, Mark?
Well, that's something experts are going to have to look at. I think the voters are going to say, look, Hillary Clinton has had a long history and experience, served as Secretary of State. Was this
Mark,
email issue of real national security?
With all due respect, I asked you a question. Hang on, Mark. If any administration official exclusively use their server, their private server. Chinese have penetrated, Russians have penetrated, Iran, Syria, other actors, criminal actors have penetrated our government systems, and she has a private server. Is this not a security issue? And emails on her server cannot be released because they are that sensitive.
Look, I think it's speculative who penetrated what. I think there's a professional investigation looking into what those issues are. I think eventually those will be made public, and the public will make a judgment on that.
And so will law enforcement officials. The judgment really is, Mark, I mean, doesn't this episode reveal something about what a Clinton presidency would look like? I mean, the fact that she had this private server in her house, Mark, and she has all these emails sent and received, many of which were so important and so top secret. Doesn't this tell us or sort of suggest what a Clinton presidency would look like?
Look, the fact that her and her aides initiated a process that resulted in a deal that may stop Iran from having a nuclear weapon also reveals something about what a Clinton presidency might reveal.
Okay, so Mark,
everything has to be put in perspective. Everything has to be put in perspective, and that's what the political process is about.
Can I put this in perspective, Mark?
So
Hillary Clinton, sorry, Mark. Hillary Clinton emailing, telling her aide to strip off classification and send her a classified email. You want perspective? Would you want a candidate or a president who decides, I'm going to have it stripped out so I can use it on an unsecure server?
Look, I think, again, we know that was really about something that was public information. But the real question here on the emails, I think, is yet to be fully vetted and come out. In terms of what's happening in Iowa, what we're seeing, the voters are saying, you know what, this isn't an issue for me as a Democrat. This is something that the FBI is looking at. There's going to be a conclusion about it. And when there is a conclusion about it, maybe it will turn out to be as serious as some people think. Maybe it won't be.
All right, so that's
I think we're going to have to wait for that. But it's just one of a lot of issues.
Point. Let me ask you this, because there were emails between you and Hillary that were revealed in the release, right? Over President Obama's hot mic comment with former Russian President Medvedev. What was the feeling at that time? You know, when he said, look, I'm going to have more, he whispered to Medvedev, look, I'm going to have more flexibility after the election, right?
Look, I think at that time the feeling was that President Obama, I think, didn't always make the wisest comments, and I felt free to say so or not.
Yeah.
And I think that I was pretty surprised, actually, through this whole process that personal emails, frankly, would get mixed in and revealed.
Hey, you made the
email dump. It really shows you this process.
You made the email dump, Mark. You got to feel good about that. Here's Senator Scott Brown, Mark. Go ahead, Senator.
Maria, I made the email dump as well,
I know
so I felt honored. And Mark,